The other day, I wanted something salty. I was just kind of craving some potato chips, and my wife had this big bag of Cape Cod kettle. That's good stuff. Cape Cod kettle chips in the cupboard. And I pulled them out, right? And I cracked the bag open, and what do I do? So I'm thinking about it right now. What did I do? I don't just pull out a handful. I left the bag there and I just started eating. I said, and it tasted good. My taste buds were saying, yeah, keep on eating, keep taking in more. There was nothing that was physically telling me to stop at that moment. And I kept on eating them, and then ultimately I made myself sick. It took a while. But I think our thoughts can be like that too. We can be processing a thought. We can be thinking about something that took place decades ago or that took place in the past, right? And then all of a sudden, here it is, and it hits us. A thought changes our feelings. What comes first, the chicken or the egg? And the answer is yes. I think sometimes our actions, when we behave a certain way, it dictates how we think and how we feel. I think the reverse is true too. Sometimes how we think and feel dictates how we believe. But I will maintain this. What comes into your mind comes out in your life. So what you're thinking about in your mind will come out in your words. It will come out in your actions. Have you ever been just going about business, and all of a sudden you thought to yourself, where in the world did that thought come from? It's like out of the blue you have this negative thought. And you're wondering, where in the world did that thought come from? Now, to me, that's an extremely important question. Because where it comes from determines where it's leading. Who it's coming from determines where it's leading. You see, our minds are a battlefield. And there is a spiritual warfare that's going on in our minds. And my friends, your thoughts, how you view the world, how you view other people, how you view your life, it is powerful. And your thoughts will come out in your actions and how you treat one another and how you live your life. Now, what do we know about the mind? Well, we know that we have what's called cognitive biases, right? They're like these filters in our mind. Now, you ready for this? We receive 11 million bits of information per second. It seems outrageous, doesn't it? With what you hear and what you see and what you smell with the senses, we receive 11 million bits of information every second. But our minds can only process about 40 per second. And so what happens is we develop these cognitive biases, okay? We rely on mental shortcuts to help us make sense of the world with relative speed. These cognitive biases, they're unconscious, and oftentimes they lead to errors in thinking. We view things incorrectly. See, these biases, they result from our brain's efforts to kind of simplify everything that's so complex in the world around us. As I said, they're unconscious, okay? And it's automatic, and it's designed to make decision-making easier and more efficient, but they can often mislead us down the wrong path. Okay, and these bad thoughts, these thinking, this misinformation that we have, it directly impacts the way that we make decisions, the ways that we act. And one of these cognitive biases is called the negativity bias. Okay? We have a tendency not only to register the negative more readily, but then we commit it to memory. We dwell on the negative. We have a tendency to see something negative, and we put it into our long-term memory. When something that's positive, something that's good, we quickly forget about it. We tend to focus more on the negative when we try to make sense out of the world. Now, that could be for all kinds of reasons. It could be because of the news and everything else that we take in, but we have a tendency to always focus on the negative. Now, when we do that, think of how that impacts our world around us. Think how it impacts our relationships. When we take in all the negative, we look at our relationships and we will expect the worst out of somebody. When we take in all the negative, a negative comment, when somebody makes a negative comment to us, man, oh man, it carries much more weight than when somebody makes a positive comment. When someone makes a negative comment towards us, we have a tendency to take it to heart. We commit it to memory. But a positive comment, you might accept it at that moment, but it's quickly forgotten. When we take in all the negative in the world around us, even our decisions are overweighted by the negativity, by the negative things that we take in. And even our perception of people focus on the worst. And we attribute negative character to them. I mean, when we get stuck in this negative, stinking way of thinking, right, we dwell on dark thoughts. It hurts our relationships with the people that we love, and it makes it difficult for us to be optimistic in life.